My life is a storybook of God's manifestation. I'm a product of my worship. It's not by singing, it's by grace. I'm living in a house I didn't pay 1 naira. Do you know what it means for somebody to finish building a house and give it to you? You know, and sometimes, every time I come out of my house, I look around, I ask myself, how old are you? Because I know that it's not by singing. And so I feel like it's time to even let people know the secret behind the glory they celebrate. My first album, The Definition, when that album came out, you know, Love World Records helped me to produce that album. And the first night, we sold 100,000 copies at Night of Bliss. Now, that was a lot of money. And then I was still climbing bike. And we didn't know it was going to sell that much. Then we had another program, Night of Bliss. It was all sold. And they called me. They said, we made money from your CD. We would like to give you 1 million. Eh? I thought, 1 million? That's a lot. So I called my mom. God bless my mother. My mom took me to church every day of my life. Scripture Union. SU, yeah. And she said, you know it's your first fruit. Leave it for them. And I thought, 1 million naira. And she that is telling me leave it for them, she didn't have 1 naira. I mean, me and my mom, we hawked together in Enugu. I will hawk this direction, she will hawk that direction. So she would have thought that, you know, this is a breakthrough, 1 million, God. And she said I should, you know, leave it for them as my first fruit. Well, I didn't have a choice but to obey her. So I told them, no, I don't want. Are you sure? I said, I don't want. Maybe from the next one. Do you know what God did? Now they took me to South Africa to shoot my first video. They said, okay, since you don't want money, let's make a video for you. Let's. And while we were shooting, I met some people who say, are you the Frankie Edwards? We love your music. We didn't even know you're Nigerian, da 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 da. But you know, your music needs to circulate, go to everywhere in the world, you know. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to remove Jesus and use God. It sounds the same. Nobody will know, because for your music to circulate, people that the name Jesus offends need to be your fans too. So but by the time you use God, they won't find it offensive, so you will be able to circulate your music. And when I saw the offer, and I thought, Jesus, God, the same thing is not much different. Nobody will know. You know, God spoke to me and said, see, if you do this, you will not last. If you don't, whatever they promise you, I'll double it for you. So again, I let it go. I mean, I let the offer go. Even my then manager thought I made a mistake. You know, managers always want more money. So he thought I made a mistake, but I made my decision. So I let it go. I came back. And then God began to do his thing. I released my second album. Someone from nowhere said, someone is trying to reach you there. She's looking. In fact, when she started looking for me, she sent all her staff. If you don't find Frankie Edwards, don't come to work. They came to my church, speak to some of my pastors. My pastors called me. Someone is looking for you. They gave her my number. She called me. And then she said, I've been listening to your music. And you know, as I listen, God keep pushing me to do something for you. Do you want to come and see me in my office? I know you are big. I say, me? Big? Send the address first. You know, she called all her staff, you know, members, took pictures with me. And she said, nothing. I just want to bless you. I just want to bless you like God placed in my heart. And then she gave me an envelope. I said, thank you. You know, it looked big. It was on my way home that I opened the envelope. I opened it, so I called her. I said, Ma, the envelope you gave me. She said, what? I said, look what's inside. She said, that's for you now. And besides, anytime you want to do anything, the bill is on me. Okay. Then now I have $10,000. I didn't do anything for you. I didn't say nothing. I said thank you. I went home. I removed my tithe and my seed. That's very important as well. The upper week, they say someone is looking for you. He gave the person my number. I've played your music, it blesses so much, and God places in my heart to bless you. Can you come to my house? I went there. The same story. You know, God does not make empty promises, and He knows how to cause the chain reaction. You know. Then the upper week, this other woman called me. Where do you live? I said, I live in Allen. I mean, then I already have a good home, and I'm very comfortable. And then she said, Ikeja is noisy. How do you create your music in that noisy environment? She said, would you like to move to VGC? And then, you know, the first thing I did was calculate how much a plot of land is in VGC, even. That's if you find. So when I make the calculation, and that's why I said, I'd love to, but now I have other things I'm working on that I need to do with money. So this is not. And she said, okay, when will you like to move? So I said, I'll work on it. You know, I was thinking I would pay for it. And the next thing, I saw trucks in my house. Trucks. As I say, what would you like to take out of this house, and what would you like to live here? So as I talk to you, I didn't lose the other place. I have the two. I say, what would you like to take out here? I said, I'll take. You want me to move? I will take everything. I say, no, just the things you will need, because the other place is already furnished. When I mean furnished, ask my manager. He knows my house. I live like a king, and that was what God promised me. And I kept my own part of the deal. I did not disobey. When I met them, all I wanted to do is to take pictures with him. You know, like you see a big superstar, I rush with my phone and say, good afternoon. I didn't even know whether to say afternoon or evening. Can I take pictures with you? And he said, okay. And he gave someone the phone, and he put his hand on my shoulder. I was waiting for the picture, and he looked at my face. And he said, Frank Edwards. I'm like, hey, you know my name. And then he said, wait. I said, anytime I see you, I must tell you this. So he brought his phone. I said, look at, all these are your songs. And he began to play my songs. I'm like, what's going on? And I said, anytime I see you, we must do something together. So it was not even my suggestion. It was not my suggestion. I did not beg for it. If you ask me to even beg for it, I don't know how to reach Domwen. I don't have his number. I don't know how to write. I don't know. But you see, God keeps to his promises. And then I'm saying to him, okay, sir. He said, we'll record together. I say, sir, if you invite me so that I can go to the embassy, I don't have a visa. And he said, I thought you have a studio. I say, yes. He said, I will come to your house. I thought it was a joke. The day he promised, he came. And he was with me from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. He didn't rush. I just didn't understand what was going on. And then he said, okay, for this story to be complete, we'll have to record in my house too. We have to record in Nashville too. And I didn't have a visa. Now, because now I know people, like big people. So I called all the people and I said, I want to go to the embassy and I don't want to have difficulties. This governor spoke to this person spoke to this person. So they finally got someone to take me to Consular General's office at the American embassy. Yeah. So they took me in. I was sitting face to face with the consular. And I've been to that place before. They rejected me visa. And I'm asking myself, wait, Frank, you entered here, you didn't queue. And then we had to say, what's the matter? I brought my brother here. He came before, they rejected him visa. So now he wants to apply again, but we don't want the same problem. The consular asked me, what was the issue the last time? I said, I don't know. They just refused me. I don't know what happened. He now said, okay, no problem. Apply again. That's bringing me to say, when God is doing his thing, he doesn't want any man to take the glory. So I'm sure God felt, because so now you're feeling like you now know people. I applied. I went, they refused me. And now I'm thinking, if you have a meeting with Consular General and they refuse your visa, what else do you want to do? I didn't know God probably was not happy with that. I prayed, when it came to my mind that maybe God is not happy. And so I said, Lord, I'm sorry if I've gone the wrong way about this visa issue. I apologize. And then as I prayed that prayer and stood myself, I had a confirmation to go back again. This time I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell nobody. I just paid for the visa application, applied again, just picked my passport, and I went there. All the embassy staffs from the entrance, hey, Frank Edwards, we love your music. Frank Edwards, we love your music. Even inside the interview hall, some are still telling me, Frank Edwards, I said, this thing you're telling me, tell Uyibo now. I'm not the one. This Uyibo that will give you, tell him that you know me, So they say, go to counter 10. And my heart started beating again. I didn't know that God has gone ahead. And here I'm standing before this lady. At one glance, she just started smiling. I don't know why. So I came close. She said, how are you? I said, I'm fine. And she said, I love your music. That was the end. She said, you are amazing at the experience. And I left, then a few days later, I collected my visa. And that's how I got to the visa. I went to America, and we are done with our album. You will hear Domoen speak Igbo for the first time. Yeah. And this is the first African collaboration with Domoen or any, Integrity Music. They've never done it before. And, God even opened, while I was in America, God opened doors. Domoen said to me, what can we do for the upcoming African artists? We discovered that we have so much talent, but they lack the right exposure. They lack the right exposure, the right sound to their music. And then he thought, okay, he was the last president of Integrity Music. And I have my own record label, which God helped me to build. So he said, since you already have Rocktown and I have my own, to help the African artists, let's open another company together. I'll be the president, you be the vice president. And I thought that's cool, vice president. So now, the story is from hawking in the streets to being the vice president of the biggest record label in Africa. I don't know what you're believing God for. I don't know your background. I don't know what you've been through. But see, don't let your background put your back on the ground. It doesn't matter what you have done. It doesn't matter who gave birth to you. It doesn't matter they say in your family they don't marry. In your family this, in your family that. Tell them this is me. He who is in Christ is a new creation. All things has passed away. Everything has become new.